Hi, so welcome back. It's been a while since I did a video, but I think this one's going to be pretty important because I've got a few useful bits of information that could help you with your marketing campaign for your Spotify campaign. Now, I'm going to demonstrate what I did in two different campaigns, but the one I really want to show you the most is Don't Go. Don't Go is a cover of a Yazoo 80s song, and it's the first cover I've ever done. And you can see here the cost per result. This is maximum time. The cost per result is pretty decent. If we just break down by day, Don't Go the campaign's only been out for 4 days, but you can see that it's slowly improved over time. Now, what's happened here, when I first released the song, the link on the campaign only pointed to YouTube. After the second day, I could see the results we're doing pretty well on the YouTube campaign. So if we just go into ToneDen, if we go into the link URL, we have a link URL here, and I used that in my ads manager. Just go into ads manager here. So for all of the ad sets, let's get rid of the breakdown, by the way. So for all of the different ad sets, and we go into the actual ads themselves, each ad is going to point to the same website URL, which is generated basically by ToneDen. So you can see it here. But originally in ToneDen, I just had the ad pointing to YouTube and not to Spotify. And the reason I did that is because generally when you run a campaign, you've got this learning phase, and the results normally on the learning phase aren't the best. So even for this campaign here, if we just go back to it really quickly, so we just break that down by day again. So even for this campaign here, even on the first day, it was still tracking at 27 pence, which isn't too bad, but it was basically in the learning phase. Once it got out of the learning phase, it really quickly, the price started going down. And today it's at 11 and it's going down further. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So I noticed that after the second day that we were getting good results. And then I went into DistroKid, and instead of it just pointing to YouTube, I decided to send the track to all of the stores, including Spotify. And so why do I do that? And the main reason for that is because what could happen, and it didn't happen luckily, what could happen, and it happens to lots of people, it's happened to myself, is that the cost per result could be 80 cents or, a dollar, it could be really high. And if that's happening, you don't really want to promote your song with that marketing campaign. What I did is I waited for the cost to go down before releasing the song. So I released the song on YouTube, but that's what I call a soft release. But once I knew that the marketing campaign was working, I released the song and applied the marketing campaign. So it hit the ground running pretty much. And there was no learning phase to worry about for Spotify. It just went directly into a decent cost per result. So I thought that's the first, I've been thinking about doing that for a while, but that's the first time I've ever done it. And so far it's worked a charm. I've saved myself quite a lot of money trying to get out of learning phases, waiting. And the good thing is in the first 2 or 3 days of release, I'm going to get a lot of streams. I can't show you what they are because the song only just came out yesterday. So we don't actually see the results, but I can tell from the YouTube analytics that the results are going to be good. And the reason after the second day, the reason it's leveled out a little bit here is my ToneDen, let's just show you the services. ToneDen now shows, actually, let's go back to the smart link. So if we have a look at the landing page in ToneDen, on the first 2 days, all the users they could only see YouTube. So they can only go into YouTube. They didn't see Spotify and iTunes. So obviously what was happening is all of the clicks were going to YouTube. But then yesterday I added Spotify and iTunes. And as a result, you can see a bit of a tail off on the YouTube side. It's still getting some numbers, but a little bit of a tail off, and I'm assuming all of those bigger numbers are now getting pumped into Spotify, which is pretty decent for £30 a day. So that's really the message here. I wanted to explain the reasoning behind Ads Manager and why I did what I did. Just remove that breakdown. If we just go into the campaign a little bit more, you'll see that there's 3 different ad sets. It's £10 a day each. I added this third ad set yesterday, so it's still in the learning phase and it's got the highest cost per result. And this is maximum, but if we have a look at just today's results, you'll see that the costs are improving. And actually for the first 2 ad sets, they're under 10 pence, which is a pretty decent result. It's about 10 cents American. And the day it's really still the morning. So we've still got most of the day left to go. So I'm thinking we're going to triple or quadruple these numbers. We're going to have about 400 results for £30, which is, I think, pretty good for the first day or second day of the campaign. And so the other thing I wanted to show show you was the different ad sets. The first two are basically short ad and longer ad. So this is almost 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes of the song. And this is about just under 30 seconds of the song. I wanted to put two different ad sets in to see which ones would work better. But as you can see, they're basically working in a similar way at the moment. So I'm just keeping them both on. And then I added the third one yesterday, which is just tier 1 countries, which are countries like US, Australia, Sweden, the higher paying countries, but obviously you have the higher cost per result. But as I said, I think that's going to go down because we're still learning. So I'm predicting that's going to be around the 20 pence mark and maybe lower. Yeah, we'll soon see how that goes. So they're the free ad sets that I've got. And the reason why we need tier 1 is just because of the algorithm. I think if there are too many streams from places like Mexico and Brazil, no disrespect to them, but if there's too many streams from those countries, then it doesn't do as well algorithmically. So you do need a mix of tier 1 and other tier countries. So we have this kind of good balance, but I guess it's early days and we'll soon see in the next few weeks whether we'll get some algorithmic support for this song. So it's a cover. I'll send you the link in the description. So that is that. And basically, that's the first campaign. Second one is Come and Play With Me. So we just click on that one quickly and we'll go to maximum. Now, Come and Play With Me is an old song, which I never promoted, but it always did really well. It was always doing really well in terms of its performance without promotion. So I thought I would do the John Gold thing and promote it even though it was old. So even though we spent £400, we've reached almost 3,000 people. Now, if we go once again to the campaign, it's had a pretty decent set of results. You can see here that it's done pretty well. And I've also linked the campaign to my playlist. So I've got quite a few people clicking through to the playlist and listening to the song there instead. And I've had about 100 saves out of the 400 click-throughs. So that's not a bad result. And some people have clicked through to YouTube and Apple Music and iTunes. And I think there's even a purchase, even one purchase there. But yeah, so yeah, not too bad in terms of results. The reason I really wanted to promote this song, I've just said because it was doing well by itself, but I wanted to get it into Discover Weekly, but it hasn't happened. So it's been really disappointing. And there's only a day left and I'm mulling over whether I want to continue this campaign. I'm not really sure. It's only got a popularity score of 24. It has been slowly building up to 24. The song itself is getting on a lot of playlists. It's getting a lot of saves, but there's a point in time when you think, can I keep investing in a song? And I think for this one here, probably not. I think it's not going to get what I want, even though we've got a very low cost per result. And that's the next thing I wanted to show you. And the thing I learned from this older campaign was how to get a low cost per result. And I'm just going to show you now. So we just go into the ad itself. So I'm not going to play this because I don't want you to hear the song because I don't want to get a content strike. But basically what I've done here is I've gone onto TikTok and I've taken a viral video. Now you can see here that it's pretty funny. And I got this viral video to sync to my song. And it's doing well. People are interested. I'm getting comments. Now, I don't know about the legalities, but in the past when I've copied a video, and I'm not recommending that you do this, but when I've copied a viral video, it has tended to do well because it's funny. But what happens is people like the song as well because they're hearing the song, they're associating the song with the funny video. You have to remember the video has to suit the song. In this case, it does. If you're doing a ballad, you're not going to show this. It's just not going to suit the song. But you want to do something that is viral or something that is proven. So once again, I'm not here saying copy things or whatever, but you want to make sure something is relatively proven. Now, I tested this in TikTok. So what happened is before I even made this ad, I put this ad into TikTok and it was doing really well there. So I knew then that I could base an ad on this. And I think that's the sole reason for the success of, when I say success, the low cost of this campaign. Now, in saying that, I don't actually consider the campaign a success because my objective was to get it into Discover Weekly and it hasn't done that. It's doing well. It's had 30,000 streams, but it hasn't got the Discover Weekly, which I was hoping for or it's just on a lot of playlists now and it's got a lot of saves. So I think even once I take the ad down, I think it's going to continue to get quite a lot of streams. Now, in terms of getting onto Discover Weekly, I think the magic number is 300 streams a day. Now, what that means is, so this song was getting between 220 and 260 streams a day, but I was unwilling, and I still am unwilling, to spend more than £10 a day on this song because I already spent quite a lot on it. But I think if you get over 300 streams a day, then your popularity score is going to get very close to 30. And so really you need to do that with a brand new song. And that's why I created the Don't Go campaign. The reason for that is because with a brand new song, Spotify will give you the algorithmic boost on release radar. So not only do you get your own release radar followers listening, but you get the algorithmic boost on release radar. So your 300 streams a day could easily become 1,000 or 2,000 streams a day because of Spotify. And if you get into that situation, then your song's automatically going to go into Discover Weekly. The numbers you get in Discover Weekly will depend on your targeting, which I'm going to talk about in a sec, but you will get Discover Weekly if you get a higher popularity score. So let's go into the Don't Go campaign. Once again, it's that cover song that I was talking about. So if we have a look at the Don't Go campaign, I didn't really do the same thing as the other song. Like I didn't take a viral video, but what I did, I took a clip of people dancing in YouTube to 80s music. One of the clips was a bit longer and the other one was much shorter. So this is the short ad. If we just go to the longer ad, you'll see that obviously it's longer. Now, this isn't a viral video, but anyone who knows the music from that era will get a feeling when they see that thing. It will take them back in time. And that's the whole idea behind this song, is to take people back in time. And that's really reflected in the results of the campaign. The results of the campaign, most of the people listening to this are in their 40s. I prefer to have younger people listening in general. Most of my songs have younger listeners, but it doesn't matter as long as people are listening. So it's an older demographic, but I'm hoping that it can spill through to some younger people because the song is modern in style, even though it's a cover. So that's what I think has made this campaign do well. So two things really, actually, not just the video, but the song. The song is a well-known song and I targeted, actually let's show you the targeting. The targeting is exactly the same except for the countries. So Yazoo, which is the group I did the whole thing on, is not in Facebook, which is really frustrating because they're a pretty popular band. But similar bands like Depeche Mode, Erasure, Pet Shop Boys and Human League were there. So I literally just targeted them and targeted Spotify. So that's all we needed really to get the low conversion costs. It's super tight targeting. Now, what I'm hoping is because the targeting is very specific, that we get on Discover Weekly, because Discover Weekly is about sharing interests, right? So if a person has playlists with Depeche Mode songs on there and also with Yazoo songs on there and covers on there, most likely the next guy will have something similar. So I'm hoping to target that and get on more Discover Weekly. But I guess the proof will be in the pudding, because right now I haven't seen any of the results apart from what's happening here in YouTube. I haven't really seen the performance results in Spotify. I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to show you. I do hope that you came out of this with something and it helped you learn a little bit. And I'm always open to learn myself. So if there's anything you guys want to tell me about your experiences, I'm really super curious and be very happy to hear how that went. I'm sure that in the next few weeks, I'll be posting a follow-up video to show you my results, and hopefully it's going to do well. I guess if you don't see a video, it didn't. So thanks a lot. And until next time, bye. Thanks.